This is a video tutorial which will show you how to use different file types in InDesign. If we take a look at the screen in front of us, we have three images of Kanye West that have been duplicated. The first one on our left uses a JPEG file format. Now JPEG always flattens the file, so if you have deleted the background but save it as a JPEG, then you're still going to get a white background. Now what's quite nice about having a JPEG in InDesign is that we can change the outline of the box and then the text can flow around the image. If we do want a transparent background, then what we need to do is save it as a PNG. Now in this image you can see that the text goes all the way up to and behind Kanye West. The text is represented by grey blocks, and this is just as a preview, but if we zoom in, we'll see text. On the right hand side we've got the same transparent image of Kanye West, but this time with a text wrap. This means that the text goes up to the edge of the image and gives us a silhouette. Sometimes this is useful when we want to play with sort of dynamic layouts. So to show you how to do these, I'm going to shut down this file. I'll save my changes. And I'm going to go on to the internet and find an image of Kanye West. Now I've chosen this image of Kanye West because it is a high contrast image. And what this means is that when I want to delete the background, I can easily select it. Because I have this image up at the moment, I will save this as a JPEG because I can have the white background. And if I go to my desktop, now what I need to do is start a new folder. It's always best when creating a publication in InDesign to have a new folder and save all of your images and your text documents in there. So I'm going to call this Kanye West Magazine and create. Now any files that I save will appear in here because this is selected grey. I'm going to call this Kanye, and you can see at the top that this is .jpeg. So I'll save that. I'll keep it up to 12 so that it retains the best files, and then press OK. Now in Photoshop, if we want to edit the background, we need to we need to unlock the layer. Now you can see where I am now that my layer has a little padlock there. So if I double click the background, I can unlock it and press OK, and you'll see that the padlock has gone. To delete the white background, I need to select the quick selection tool, and if I click onto the screen, I select an area. Now to change the size of the brush, sometimes you might not see this. If I have caps lock already switched on, then you'll just see a sort of a target area, a little target icon. If I press caps lock, you can see that it turns it back into a brush. To change the size of the brush, I can just use the square brackets next to the enter key on my keyboard. If I go to the left, it makes it smaller, and on the right it makes it bigger. So if I hold down shift and click again on this side of the image, then it should select the rest. Now if you watch, when I press backspace to delete, I get this grey and white checkered background. In Photoshop, this is a way of telling you that this is transparent. There is no background. Now to deselect the image, we just go up to File, Deselect. In Photoshop, you'll find that if you're interested in shortcuts to make your working time quicker, that on the right hand side, and this is the same for InDesign and any other application, that there's a shortcut here. So if we press down Command, which you'll find next to the spacebar on the left, and the letter D, then it would deselect the image. So if I select this, you can see that the dotted line has moved, it's gone. Now the next thing that we need to do is save this image as a PNG. So we go to File, Save As, and here we select PNG. And it's as simple as that. So save. Now this option, none or interlaced. Interlaced is a way of reducing the amount of information in the image. Now we don't need to do that, we want everything there still. So we're just going to keep it on none and press OK. We'll just close down this. We don't need to save that because we've got both copies already. and then we are going to open up InDesign. Now, some of you might not have InDesign in the dock already. This is what this is called, the dock. So one way of doing that is to go up to the right hand side and open up the magnifying glass to open up the spotlight, and you can just type in and there you go, InDesign is there, and we can just click on that and it opens there. So I'm going to open up a new document and press OK. Now I want 3 pages, so if I go up to the layout, I can go to my pages and add a page, and I'll add one more for 3. Now you'll notice that if I scroll up and down that the pages aren't next to each other, which will make this task a little bit harder to show you what I'm up to. In order to solve that, so that all the pages are on the top level, I just click on pages up here and go to this sub menu and take off the allow document pages to shuffle. Then now that I've got 2 and 3 selected, if I just click once and hold down shift, click again, I can drag them up beside my main page, and if I wait for that little black square bracket to appear, it would then put them together. If you can't find any of these functions here, you'll find them at the top in the window setting, and you can see that I've got all of these other windows available to me. The next thing that we need to do is import some text. So if we go to Safari and music, and well, say music, I've gone to the Guardian website and just got the biography of Kanye West. I've selected it all and I've copied it. To do that, we can go to Edit and Copy, and you can see on the right hand side it's got Command and C, so another shortcut. If I go back into InDesign, I can create myself a text box, and I then just can go to Edit and Paste. Again, Command and V on the keyboard. And you'll see that the text is grey blocks like earlier, and that's just because it's a preview. Now, a really useful shortcut is to be able to duplicate this very quickly without going to Edit or Copy, Edit, Paste, or even using Copy and Paste. And it's a much more accurate way of duplicating the image, the object, the text. So what we do on that keyboard, in the bottom left, there's a button which has got ALT on it, which is Alt. If we hold that down, watch the black arrow. If we hold it down, a white arrow appears, and this tells us that we're about to duplicate what's been selected. So we click and drag away, and holding down the mouse button still, you'll see that it's duplicated it. Now these little green lines are a way of helping us keep everything in line with each other. So I'm going to let that go, and then we're going to hold down Alt again and then duplicate that on this side. Now the best way of bringing an image into InDesign is to place it. So if we go up to File and Place, this is different from some Photoshop or Word where you're asked to import the image. In InDesign we're asked to place the image. So again, that's Command D. Now that's a shortcut, and we click on there, and if we go to our file, which was Kanye West Magazine, the first one I want to use is the Kanye West JPEG, so I'm going to open that, and I am going to just place him here. Now you'll see that when we have him selected, we can bring him on top, and the pink arrow, the pink line is letting me know that the centre of the page has been hit by the centre of the image, and the green line is letting me know that the centre of the text box has been hit by the centre of the image. So horizontally the pink, vertically the green has been met. So if I let that go, I want to change the shape of this box. Now to do this, the first thing I'm going to do is just zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to press Command on my keyboard and plus, which is on the top right corner. You'll see that we can now have the text in front of us and the image, and it makes things a little bit easier to see. To add a zigzag to our image, we need to add more boxes. You can see that on the left we've got a box which we can drag the image out that way. Diagonally we've got a box in the middle which can go vertically, and one on the left and the right which is horizontal. To do this we need to use the pen tool. The pen tool you can find on this left hand side. It's usually set a drawing pen, but what we need is an add anchor point tool. So if we click that, and then what we need to do is just make sure that we are clicking on the blue line of the image, and you'll see that what happens is that we get a new blue box. Okay. Then what we need to do is just add a few more. The next thing that we need to do is pull these in. Now the best way of doing this is not to use the black arrow, because this is the selection tool, but we need a direct selection tool, so something that plays with the boxes in a more accurate way. Otherwise, if we just use the black arrow, it will just move the image. We actually want to manipulate these smaller boxes. So we use our right arrow and we click on the image once, and you'll see it goes brown. Now we don't want that, so we double click the image, and that then turns the frame blue, and then we click on these smaller boxes that we've just added, and this means that we can move them. So if I just drag that in, you can see that I've created a sort of indentation on the image, and I can do this to the rest of the image. Now the problem that we've got is that the text is behind the image, so what we need to do is text wrap it. Now text wrap might not appear immediately on your bar on the right, so what you do is you just go to Window and Text Wrap. We open up our text wrap function, and then we need to just wrap around the object shape, and just select the image, and there you go. You can see now that the text has gone around the image. If we want to increase the distance between the box and the text, then we can use these functions here to increase that. We'll just do that again. Select that. And you can see I had to select the black arrow first before selecting the image. Another useful tool for the text wrap options is to select on this drop down menu, say like the right side, and what happens is that InDesign detects the outline of the box that the image comes with, and will only wrap the text around the outline on the right side. What we're going to do next is to introduce a big K onto Kanye West's left hand side, and to take out the small k within the article. This is to create more visual interest in the article and to create something a little bit more dynamic on the page. So I'm just going to click on the text tool here, type tool, and take out the K. I'll click on the black arrow. I'm just going to drag my box just over his ear. Now the next thing that we're going to do is lock both of these objects. We don't want the new K to be interfering or to be interfered with, so to sort of like click inside or anything like that. So if we've got a text selected, we go up to Object and Lock, and you'll see that in the sort of corner of the image we've got a little blue padlock, and then if we click Kanye West and Object Lock, and you'll see that they're both locked. We're just going to get a new text tool, and I'm just going to create box. Now what we have to be a little bit careful of is, if you look on the right hand side of the image, you'll see there's a little distance between the two, between the image of Kanye West and the text. Now this will go all the way around him still. So if I bring my K too close to his head, then the K will disappear. So let's just type the letter K, and I'll highlight it. Now on your keyboard we've got a really useful shortcut, which is to press and hold down Command, and press and hold down Shift, which is the button below the caps lock, and then we've got the comma and the full stop. Above the full stop is a right triangle bracket, and above the comma is a left triangle bracket. If we press the right triangle bracket and hold it down, you can see that we get a really quick scaling up of the letter. If I just keep holding down, it changes it a lot quicker, and it makes things a little bit more intuitive, rather than just going back up to say here and changing it and having a look and changing it and having a look. If I could just press Command, Shift and the right triangle bracket, then I can make my letter big. And you'll see now that we've got a large K that starts off the article. Now one of the things that I might want to do is to just make my the tip of my K touch the purple line, and the top of it to touch the purple line up here, the border of the page. So if I just take the outline of my text box and then take it again, then it sort of creates a little bit more sort of consistency with the border of my article. Now you can see that because I've clicked too close to Kanye West, the K has now disappeared, and that's because of this white border around him. So if I just click back, there you go, and there's a big K there. Now at the moment we're in preview mode, well, not preview mode, so we're in the mode where we can see all the borders and the rulers. So if we click on and hold, we see that we're in normal view. If we go down to preview, it removes all of our rulers and measurements. We can still hover over things if we need to, and it will give us a little guide.